So in this video, we're going to focus on modeling the stuff that's going to be sold here in the vending machine. I've decided to do drinks, so I'll be doing canned drinks and bottled drinks, okay, and different variations of that. All right. So since last time, all I've done is set my vending machine on a layer, so I can hide the whole thing, and my just renamed my guide layer properly, so I can hide that. Right. So now we're going to do, let's say, do the bottles. Okay. If I go back to my side view, I can create another image plane. Find the image. Let's see. Machines. So it's really small. You can scale this up a bit. There we go. Okay, so this is just a generic water bottle that I found. And again, you can position this up here. And I am going to put that in its own layer. Cool. Okay, and for this, we're going to do a revolve, right? So we're going to use the CV curve tool, draw out the outline, do a revolve. Okay, so I'm going to get my CV curve tool. Um, by default, that isn't there. I had to place that there myself. You'd find it under Create Curve Tools, CV Curve Tool. If you want to put it on the shell, just hold down Control and Shift when you click this, it will pop up, and then you can place it wherever you want. Okay, so I got that. I am going to hold down X while I click first time. So I'm clicking on the major Y-axis, right? And here I want to space my points eh, roughly roughly the same. So you don't have to do something like that, but don't do something like that either. Just space them out. Okay, and up here, go out. And then this being a bottle has some thickness. Go back around, matching them. And holding down X again to make sure it snaps to the major grid line like that. And then I will just adjust this. Like so. Hide that, see what I've got. Okay, so it's a bit thin in these areas. Yeah, it's a bit thin here. Okay, then I do a revolve right up here in your curves and surfaces shelf. Click, and we get this. Right. So little adjustments. I can grab just the curve, right click, control vertex, make some adjustments. Okay. Then we can just do a separate cap. something of the sort. Looks a bit odd. I think this is too far out. Adjustments for that. Right, so let's say 0 caps for this. Screw, bring it up, offset. Maybe the same here. Screw that just slightly. Make it look more like a cap. Yeah, okay. Well, that's one. I can make variations of this, just by changing the labels. The labels, by the way, are just going to be separate pieces of geometry. Maybe a cylinder just put around there. Okay, so that's one, right? I can move that aside or here, or I can put it in its own layer, right? I can grab that, it in there, and I'll bring this in as well. Right, so if I'm happy with that, I don't really need this anymore. I can move on and switch to something else, right? So I have this. Let's duplicate that. There we go. And this as well. Let's duplicate that. Yeah, so let's that to one side. And then this one, the original one, I can make some adjustments. Let's say bring this in, right? So I'm just playing around here. Just have a different feel, right? So I can bring this in. Okay. And let's lower the number 2 by 2. Right? I can always smooth this again later. But under your tessellations, 2 by 2. Uh, by the way, going back to uh, the revolve, right? My settings, my preferred settings are like this. So output geometry is polygons, type is quads, tessellation method is general, and under initial tessellation controls, U and V type are both set to per span number of isoforms. All right. So that gives you this nice uh, even spacing, right? And they're all quads. And this number, right, is variable. Okay, you can start off with something like 3 or 2 or whichever you prefer. Okay, that's just how many divisions there are. And this number is the same number you find here. So, once you've done the revolve, you can still change it. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to set that down to 2 because I want to try something here. All right. Okay. I'm gonna get these as well. Put them down. And these just to match go a little bit lower. Right? You're still getting that flow. This one and that one. Okay. And then I can, oops, grab this whole thing, extrude face, offset, extrude again, push it inward, grab this, push it inward. Now if I press 3, you have a nice design for your bottle, right? And you can, just keep playing around with whatever different design you want, just for variety. Plain, you have something like this. You might have something up here. Um, yeah, so that's how you do bottles. And then again, back here, you can go back to in your side view, go back to your camera, make yet another image plane. And this time, let's get can. Maybe this, some interesting can. Here, you see, even in the cans, you can do so many varieties. You can do like a bit of a flat one, you know, uh, shorter, stubbier one, or a tall, lanky sort of can, right? Something like this, which is the more straight on. This would be good. Okay, so brand new layer for that one. And here we start. Okay. Uh, Pro tip, you could bring this into Photoshop beforehand and change the background to a darker color, just so it's easier to see when you're using a curve tool, which is white. Okay, so yeah, that. And this is not exactly straight on, so there's actually curving up. But if you look at the can, it's not really going to curve up that much, so I'm just going to make this a bit straighter. There you go. Then down here, you have something like this. Always some indentation at the bottom of the can. Okay, and then we do a revolve. There you go. It's your can. Now, if you look at it up here, it's pretty flat. Let's go and grab these. There. Usually your can will have something like this. There you go. Okay, now how much detail you put up here is really going to depend on what it's going to be for. So this is where you'd see a difference between a prop and a set dressing, right? So if it's set dressing and you know you're never really going to see the top of it, you can bother without putting the tab or any of the other details. But if this is going to be a prop that a character is going to, you know, pick up, open, and drink from, then yes, you really have to do all the details up here. Okay. I think for the vending machine exercise, you don't need to bother with that unless you do plan on, you know, uh, taking a shot where you can see the top of the cans. Right, there it is. And then again, you just make variations of this, like the San Miguel one I had earlier, which is like shorter but stuffier or wider. Right? Okay, so have fun making different variations.